Deep sea exploration has uncovered some of the most bizarre and unsettling discoveries our planet has to offer. We got mysterious creatures lurking in the depths, documented cases of attacks by giant squids. Today, we're diving into the eerie and disturbing things recovered from the deep sea. In 1978, the USS Stein, a United States Navy frigate, was cruising through part of the Pacific Ocean. Out of nowhere, the ship's sonar systems went haywire, completely shutting down. The crew scrambled to get things back online, but they were forced to head back to dock to figure out what went wrong. When they inspected the sonar, they found something horrifying. Huge slashes, each about 4 feet long, and embedded in these gashes were what looked to be massive teeth. Well, it turned out these teeth were actually the claws of a squid's suction cup, and this must have been a pretty big squid. The biggest giant squid we've ever found was 59 feet in length. This is not an urban legend, this is a documented case. The damage to the ship had been made by an enormous deep-sea beast lurking beneath the waves. Navy biologist F.G. Wood took a close look at these claws, and he couldn't rule out the possibility that they may have come from an undiscovered species of giant squid. What you're looking at is a mysterious golden orb that was discovered in the Gulf of Alaska by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration back in the fall of 2023. During the NOAA's Seascape Alaska 5 expedition, researchers discovered this strange blob. This blob was about 4 inches in diameter and was attached to a rock. The team used remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, to make the discovery. After examining it, scientists confirmed that the blob was biological, but they couldn't identify what it was. One thing to note about this blob was that it had a small hole in its surface. It looked like something had either entered or exited from it. So using a gentle suction device, the team carefully removed the orb and brought it to their ship for closer study. Deep sea ecologist Carrie Howell mentioned that the blob might be a new species, or possibly an unknown life stage of a species that we already know about. But beyond these theories, we still don't have any concrete answers about what this blob actually is or was. Truk Lagoon, formerly known as Truk Atoll, is located in the Federated States of Micronesia and was the site of Japan's main naval base during World War II. In 1944, the US Navy launched Operation Hailstone, which sank over 60 Japanese warships and 250 aircraft. This event turned Truk Lagoon into one of the largest ship graveyards in the world. Today, beneath the waters of the lagoon, there are thousands of artifacts from World War II. You'll find gas masks, human skulls, sake bottles, even family photographs. The lagoon's been a popular destination for scuba divers. It looks like a pretty spectacular dive because the shipwrecks and artifacts are laying in crystal clear waters, often less than 50 feet deep. The calm waters allow divers to swim through the wrecks. In the holds of these massive vessels, there are remnants of fighter aircraft, tanks, bulldozers, railroad cars, motorcycles, torpedoes, mines, bombs, boxes of munitions. The Black Sea is a pretty wild place for underwater exploration. Not only are there tons of shipwrecks, but because the water is anoxic, it actually helps to preserve these wrecks really well. One of the coolest finds was an ancient Greek shipwreck discovered in 2018, which is over 2,400 years old. It was found super deep. It was over 6,500 feet down, making it one of the deepest shipwrecks ever found. The Black Sea is also home to ships from the Ottoman Empire and the World Wars, including naval and merchant vessels. Along with the ships, there are often personal items found too, like tools, weapons, and even human remains. The carnivorous deep-sea Tunicate, aka the ghostfish. Well, that sounds pretty scary, and take a look at it. It is. They're found anchored along the walls of deep-sea canyons and the sea floor. What makes these tunicates unique is that they're not your typical filter feeders. Instead, they've adapted to become ambush predators. These predatory tunicates have a mouth like a siphon that quickly snaps shut whenever a small animal like a crustacean or a fish drifts inside, a bit like a Venus flytrap. Once they catch their meal, they keep their trap shut until the prey is fully digested. In terms of size, these tunicates are about 5 inches across and mostly feed on zooplankton and other tiny creatures. Interestingly, they reproduce by releasing both eggs and sperm into the water. If there aren't any other of their species around, they can even self-fertilize their eggs, ensuring their survival in the deep sea. But now for a much larger and creepier deep-sea creature, the giant phantom jelly. This is a very elusive species that wasn't formally recognized until 1959, but there were sightings before that. In total, though, there have only been about 110 sightings recorded in just over a century. Despite how rare they are, though, they're believed to live across the world's oceans, aside from the Arctic Ocean. This jellyfish is thought to be one of the largest invertebrate predators in its ecosystem, commonly found in the ocean's midnight and twilight zones at depths of around 21,800 feet. They're very strange looking creatures with an umbrella-shaped bell that can grow up to 3.5 feet across. Pliant tissue allows it to stretch to 4 or 5 times its size, likely to help it engulf its prey. And unlike many jellyfish, the giant phantom jelly does not have stinging tentacles, but does use its arms to trap and consume plankton and small fish, and it's able to do that easily, because its arms can reach lengths of up to 33 feet. The Stronsay Beast is a mysterious creature that washed ashore on the island of Stronsay in the Orkney Islands, Scotland, after a storm on September 25th of 1808. This large lobster measured an impressive 55 feet in length, and part of its tail was missing too, so it was even longer. Till this day, nobody knows exactly what this thing could have been, but the fun theory is, of course, that it was some sort of sea serpent similar to Nessie. But it's believed that this could have been a decayed basking shark, and that the measurement given at the time was embellished. Eyewitnesses described the Stronsay Beast having 3 pairs of appendages, which were referred to as paws or wings. The skin texture was particularly unusual. It felt smooth when stroked from head to tail, but rough when stroked in the opposite direction. Its fins were edged with bristles, and there was a row of bristles down its back that reportedly glowed in the dark when wet. The mysterious case of the Witchcraft. On the evening of December 22, 1967, Daniel Burke, a Florida real estate developer, was out on his 23-foot yacht with a friend, Father Patrick Horgan, who was a Catholic priest. They had only gone about a mile out to sea, supposedly to enjoy the view of the Miami skyline at night, and things took a strange turn when the Witchcraft became disabled. Burke managed to put out a distress call asking for a tow back to port, but he made sure to mention that it wasn't an emergency. Just 15 minutes later, though, a Coast Guard patrol boat arrived at their reported location, but to everyone's shock, there was no sign of the Witchcraft or the 2 men. It was as if they had just vanished into thin air. The Coast Guard quickly launched a full search operation, scouring the area for a week without finding any clues, and there was no trace of the yacht, no debris, no personal belongings, nothing. 2026 to 2031 now. The complete disappearance of the Witchcraft, along with Burke and Horgan, remains one of the most baffling maritime mysteries, and there was all these extensive searches, but the case has never been solved, leaving more questions than answers. And one theory is that they intentionally disappeared, which is certainly possible. Next, let's talk about Bimini Road. Discovered off the coast of North Bimini Island in the Bahamas back in 1968. There's a lot of debate and controversy surrounding this site. It's made up of a series of rectangular limestone blocks arranged in what looks to be a very straight line. It looks almost like a road, hence the name. And the discovery was first noted by pilots flying over the area, and when divers explored it further, they confirmed that there was indeed something unusual down there. Mainstream scientists say Bimini Road is just beach rock, formed by sand and shell fragments that have cemented together over time, arguing that it's a natural formation, but that hasn't stopped some people thinking it could be connected to possibly legendary lost cities like Atlantis, who think that the straight lines and all the right angles are just too precise to be natural. And finally, we have the Baltic Sea Anomaly. Back in 2011, the Swedish deep-sea diving team Ocean X was searching for a shipwreck when they stumbled upon a bizarre sonar image on the seafloor of the northern Baltic Sea. The shape did not look like a natural formation, and you know, people just love a good UFO story, so the strange object was soon dubbed the Baltic Sea Anomaly, and there's been a lot of debate ever since it was found. Once the images hit the news, tabloids jumped on it, claiming the object could be some sort of alien technology or the remnants of an ancient civilization. The anomaly measures about 197 feet in diameter and sits at a depth of around 295 feet. So, is this thing a natural formation? Could this be remnants of something more intriguing, like an ancient spaceship? What do you all think? With all that said, I've been your host James, and I'll catch you, yes you specifically, in the next video.